Welcome to Goodreads podcast series.
Today on the deep dive, we're getting into Yuval Noah Harari's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century.
That's right. You've told us you want to, get a solid grip on the big issues shaping our world.
Get those aha moments without feeling totally buried in information.
Exactly. So our mission here is really to pull out the core insights from this really vital book.
Giving you a kind of shortcut to understanding the complexities we're all facing right now.
Harari, well, he builds on his earlier work, doesn't he?
He does. And here he shifts focus squarely onto the major challenges of our time. Things driven by, well, huge shifts in tech and politics.
So we're going to explore his framework, how he suggests we think critically about all this.
Yeah, the book's broken down into 5 parts. We'll try and touch on the main arguments in each.
To give you that well-rounded picture.
Exactly.
Okay, let's dive in then. Part 1, the technological challenge. Harari starts with AI and biotechnology. Big topics.
Huge. And his key point isn't just, like, small improvements. He argues they're revolutionary.
Revolutionary how?
With the potential to fundamentally reshape, well, everything. Society, yes, but maybe even our biology. What it means to be human.
Wow. Okay. Not just a better phone then.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I think potential redefinition of humanity itself.
One thing that really jumped out at me was this idea of algorithms understanding us better than we understand ourselves. Sounds a bit sci-fi.
It does, but Harari brings it down to earth. The worry is, if algorithms know our desires, our fears, our biases,
Yeah.
they could be used to steer us. You know, what we buy, who we vote for, maybe even who we date, subtly, or perhaps not so subtly.
Right. And that leads to his concern about digital dictatorships.
Precisely. If someone controls those algorithms, they have unprecedented insight and therefore unprecedented influence. Imagine a government or a corporation knowing your deepest vulnerabilities.
That's unnerving.
It really is. The potential for manipulation is just immense.
And this connects to his other worry about humans becoming obsolete. Is
Yeah.
that just about jobs?
Not entirely. It's deeper. Yes, AI might take over many jobs, making people economically, well, superfluous in some areas.
But there's more.
Yeah, he talks about us potentially becoming data colonies.
Data colonies, what does that mean?
Essentially, our experiences, our information, becomes the raw material, the asset being mined by tech giants.
All our clicks, searches, likes.
Exactly. Who benefits most from all that data? And what's our role in that whole ecosystem? Are we just the source?
So, faced with these massive potential changes, what's Harari pushing for? What's the takeaway?
His emphasis is really urgent. He stresses the need for ethical thinking and, crucially, global regulation. Now,
Before it's too late to change course.
absolutely. We need to grapple with the ethics before these things are completely baked into our lives. And it has to be global. One country can't do it alone.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's move to part 2 then, the political challenge. After tech, he looks at global politics. What's he seeing there?
Well, he identifies a couple of big trends. First, the sort of weakening of traditional liberal democracy.
We see headlines about that all the time.
Right. And alongside that, a resurgence of nationalism, tribalism even, people turning inwards.
Like populist movements and things like that.
He sees that as part of this larger pattern, yes. A skepticism towards the old systems.
And this leads him to ask a really big question about the nation state itself.
Yes. Is the nation, as we know it, still the best tool for tackling the really huge global challenges?
Like climate change, nuclear weapons, tech disruption.
Exactly. These things don't respect borders.
Yeah.
Can one nation really solve climate change on its own? He questions if our political structures are actually fit for purpose anymore.
It's a provocative thought.
It is. And he also warns us about traps we fall into, like wanting easy answers.
Yeah, and getting stuck in our own bubbles. Echo chambers.
Yeah, absolutely. Simplistic solutions are dangerous for complex problems. And echo chambers, fueled by social media algorithms, they just reinforce what we already think.
Makes it hard to have real conversations.
Very hard. It hinders understanding, hinders dialogue with people who see things differently.
So if the old model is shaky and easy answers are bad, what's his political message?
It's a call for much greater global cooperation, a shared sense of, global citizenship.
Seeing ourselves as connected.
Yes, recognizing we're all in this together, facing these big threats. It requires renewed political engagement, he argues, and rethinking our priorities globally.
Okay. Then part 3 moves inward a bit. Despair and hope.
Hmm.
It talks about the toll all this change takes on us.
Right, the psychological, emotional side. He points out this widespread feeling of, well, disorientation,
Yeah.
anxiety.
Because things are changing so fast.
Exactly. It's overwhelming. You feel uncertain about the future, your place in it. It's natural to feel like you can barely keep up.
He says that's common now.
Very common.
And he brings up post-truth here, too. How does that play into our anxiety?
Well, if objective facts matter less than feelings or beliefs,
Hmm.
how do you make sense of anything?
Right. It's hard to know what's real.
It's destabilizing. Trying to sort fact from fiction, especially online, adds to that background hum of anxiety and confusion. If we can't even agree on basic facts.
Yeah, that makes things feel shaky. But the section title includes hope. So it's not all doom and gloom.
No, not entirely. His optimism is, maybe cautious, but it's there. He believes in human ingenuity, our ability to solve problems.
And compassion.
And compassion, yes. Our empathy is a vital resource. But the key, he says, is cultivating mental flexibility, resilience.
Being able to adapt.
To adapt, learn, bounce back. That's crucial for navigating all this uncertainty.
Which leads us nicely into part 4, truth. Just truth. How does he tackle that huge concept?
Given everything we've discussed, the main challenge he sees is telling apart, actual reality from narratives, stories created on purpose.
Especially with social media and algorithms shaping what we see.
Exactly. Misinformation spreads so easily, we can get locked into our own little reality bubbles without even knowing it.
And the danger there is,
Well, fake news, obviously. It messes with decision-making, erodes social trust.
and trust in institutions.
That's a big one. If we lose trust in, say, science or journalism or government, the foundations get shaky. Society phrase.
So how do we fight back? How do we find truth or get closer to it?
Harari urges us to be really critical consumers of information. Question everything. Where did this come from? Who benefits?
And be aware of our own biases.
Definitely. We all have them. Seek out different viewpoints, especially ones that challenge you. It requires intellectual humility,
Accepting we don't know everything.
committing to keep learning, keep trying to understand, even when it's uncomfortable.
Okay, that makes sense. Finally, part 5, resilience. After all these challenges, tech, politics, truth, how do we build resilience? Individually and collectively.
On the individual level, he actually highlights things like meditation and mindfulness
Really? How do they help?
as tools for self-awareness, for navigating all the complexity inside and out. They can help create a bit of calm perspective, allow for thoughtful responses instead of just, knee-jerk reactions.
Interesting. And for society, what broader approaches?
He really emphasizes lifelong learning. We have to keep adapting because the world keeps changing. Staying relevant, engaged,
And finding meaning, even when things feel chaotic.
that's key. Finding purpose helps build that long-term resilience, facing the unknown with a bit more equanimity.
So wrapping it all up, what's the big takeaway from 21 lessons? It doesn't sound like he's giving answers.
No, not definitive answers. It's more like
Yeah.
a collection of really important questions. Questions designed to make you think critically.
To engage with the world.
Yes, and to encourage global thinking, global collaboration, and also to foster that inner strength we need for this era of, unprecedented change.
He wants us to examine our assumptions.
Critically, about everything. Tech, politics, truth, what it means to be human right now. It's a challenge to broaden our understanding.
We hope this deep dive into Yuval Noah Harari's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century has given you some valuable insights.
Maybe a few of those aha moments, a clearer view on the big forces shaping things.
Yeah, and this really just scratches the surface, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The book goes much deeper,
So we definitely encourage you to check it out, delve further, continue your own thinking.
for sure.
Thank you for listening to this Good Reads podcast series.